The observation deck of the Helios compass hummed with the soft vibration of antimatter drives pushing the vessel through the void at 0.4 C. Daniel pressed his palm against the transparent aluminum viewport, his breath fogging the surface as he stared at the phenomenon that had drawn them 47 light-years from Earth. "Don't look there," Orla said sharply from her station, not for the first time that shift. The warning had become a mantra among the crew over the past 6 days. Neural pattern disruption is already at 12% across the ship. Daniel didn't move. His eyes remained fixed on the spatial anomaly designated QX7719, a region of space where reality seemed to fold in on itself like origami constructed by a drunk mathematician. The sensors couldn't properly resolve it. To human eyes, it appeared as a shimmer, a mirage, a blind spot that the brain kept trying to process and failing. "I know the protocols," Daniel muttered, though he made no effort to look away. Orla spun her chair around, her dark eyes narrowing. As the ship's neurological officer, she'd been monitoring the crew's cognitive functions since they'd entered this sector. Every member who'd spent more than 30 seconds observing QX7719 directly showed measurable degradation in executive function. Except Daniel. "Your scans are clean," she said, suspicion creeping into her voice. "Too clean. Everyone else shows disruption. Even Captain Reeves won't look at it for more than 5 seconds at a time." Daniel finally turned from the viewport. His expression was distant, analytical. "That's because they're trying not to see it. I'm trying to understand it." "That's not how physics works, Daniel. This isn't a philosophical exercise." Orla pulled up his neural scan on her tablet, the holographic display casting blue light across her face. "You're an exobiologist. You study alien life, not spatial anomalies. Let the astrophysics team handle this." "The astrophysics team is terrified of it," Daniel said flatly. He moved to the main console and began pulling up data streams, his fingers dancing across the haptic interface. "They've been taking passive measurements for a week. Do you know what we've learned? Nothing, because no one will actually look at it long enough to notice the patterns." "There are no patterns. It's a quantum singularity, probably a collapsed wormhole structure. It's dangerous. Everything unknown is dangerous until we understand it." Daniel isolated a frequency band in the electromagnetic spectrum, enhancing it. "But I've been watching, Orla, really watching, and there's something there, something organized." Orla stood, crossing the deck in 3 strides of the low-gravity environment. She grabbed his shoulder, forcing him to meet her eyes. "The medical protocols are explicit. Prolonged exposure to QX7719 causes neural degradation. I don't care if your scans look fine now. We've lost 2 exploration missions because crew members became obsessed with anomalies and made fatal mistakes." "Those were different." Daniel pulled up a 3-dimensional model of the anomaly, rotating it slowly. "Those were natural phenomena. This isn't." The words hung in the air between them like a physical presence. "What are you suggesting?" Orla's voice dropped to barely above a whisper. Daniel enhanced a section of the scan, revealing periodic fluctuations in the gravitational distortion field. The pattern repeated every 47.3 seconds with mathematical precision. "I'm suggesting that QX7719 isn't a collapsed wormhole. It's a structure, possibly a transmission, and I think I know how to decode it." Orla felt ice crystallize in her stomach. "You can't be serious. You want to interface with it." "I want to stop pretending we can study the universe while refusing to look at the parts that scare us." Daniel no. But he was already moving, pulling up the ship's main sensor array interface. His fingers flew across the controls with unsettling confidence, as if he'd rehearsed this moment countless times in his mind. "I'm routing the pattern through the ship's quantum computer," he explained, his voice taking on an almost evangelical fervor. "If this is information, we need to process it through something that can handle quantum superposition. Our brains can't parse it because we're still thinking in classical terms. Stop! Orla's command carried the weight of medical authority, but Daniel ignored her. The main screen erupted with data. Strings of information cascaded down the display like a digital waterfall, and suddenly the incomprehensible became horrifyingly clear. The pattern wasn't random noise. It was a message, repeated endlessly, and the quantum computer was finally translating it into something human minds could comprehend. "Oh God," Daniel whispered. The translation appeared on screen in plain text. "Quarantine zone, do not approach. Containment PROTOCOLS active. Species designation, human. Threat level, Omega." Orla stared at the words, her mind racing through the implications. That's not possible. Who could have designated humans as a threat before we even achieved interstellar flight? Daniel's face had gone pale. Something older than us, something that was here first. He pulled up the stellar cartography data, overlaying it with the pattern's directional components. His hands shook as the truth crystallized. "Orla, this isn't the only one. The pattern contains coordinates. There are dozens of these markers, maybe hundreds, all surrounding known human expansion vectors." "We're boxed in," Orla breathed. "Not boxed in, quarantined." Daniel zoomed out the map, revealing the full scope. Earth sat at the center of a spherical shell of these anomalies, each one a warning beacon, each one designed to appear incomprehensible to human perception. They don't want us to know we're contained. The neural disruption isn't a side effect. It's the point. They're designed to make us look away. The door to the observation deck hissed open. Captain Reeves strode in, her face dark with fury. Behind her, 3 security personnel in full tactical gear formed a wall. "Mr. Torres," Reeves said, her voice cold enough to freeze nitrogen. "Step away from the console, now." Daniel didn't move. "Captain, you need to see this." "I know what you've done," Reeves gestured, and the security team moved forward. "Your neural implant has been transmitting your analysis to the ship's medical AI for the past 18 minutes. Dr. Chen has already briefed me." "Then you know what this means," Daniel said desperately. "Humanity's expansion into space isn't random exploration. We're test subjects. Something out here is studying us, controlling where we go." "That information is now classified under Omega protocols," Reeves interrupted. "By order of the Colonial Authority, transmitted 6 minutes ago via quantum Ansible." Orla felt her world tilting. They already knew. Command already knew about the quarantine. Reeves' expression confirmed it. The Colonial Authority has been aware of the containment field for 8 years, since the first deep space probes detected the pattern. The decision was made at the highest levels to suppress this information. Humanity cannot know it's caged. The psychological impact would be catastrophic. "So you just let us keep exploring." Daniel's voice rose, anger replacing fear. "Let us think we're pioneers when we're really just rats in a maze." "We're studying the containment field from the inside," Reeves said. "Quietly, carefully, looking for weaknesses, but we can't have individuals like you broadcasting this revelation to the entire scientific community." "So what?" Daniel laughed bitterly. "You arrest me, lock me up for discovering the truth. House arrest in your quarters pending our return to Titan Station." Reeves nodded to security. "You'll be debriefed and offered a position in the classified research program. Or you can refuse and spend the rest of your life in a luxury confinement facility, your discovery credited to someone else." As security moved to restrain him, Daniel looked back at the viewport, at QX7719 shimmering in the void like a prison wall made of broken space. "You're infuriated because I looked," he said quietly. "Because I saw what you spent years teaching yourselves not to see, because now you can't pretend anymore." Orla watched them lead him away, her mind churning through the implications. She glanced at the viewport, at the anomaly that was really a warning, really a wall. And for the first time since she joined the colonial authorities' deep space program, she understood why the most important rule was always the same: don't look there. But Daniel had looked, and now someone would have to decide what to do with a truth that couldn't be hidden anymore, revealed by a man who'd committed the ultimate crime in humanity's secret cage. He'd refused to stop staring at the bars. And